Hi, you're with Julian on the Brown Note reviewing two comedy specials that have just dropped from very analogous comedians at the moment, and Dave Chappelle, and this one, Ricky Gervais's Armageddon, who are embroiled in a clash with woke and cancel culture, really mainly around the issue of trans people, in both cases in slightly different ways. And I said the Dave Chappelle one was probably the worst of the 6 specials that I've reviewed since he's made his live comeback. I just didn't think the material was there. The last time I reviewed a Ricky Gervais stand-up special, it was Humanity, and it was dire. It wasn't dire, it just wasn't very good. It was a few years back now, and I missed the one in between this Armageddon and I think it was Supernatural or something. I missed that one, so I don't know what the quality of that one was, but Humanity was very, very tepid. It wasn't laugh out loud. There was a very long sequence about Caitlyn Jenner, which was never funny. And I will laugh at the most offensive humour on earth. I'm a Doug Stanhope fan. But all it was saying Bruce Jenner has a big willy for about 10 minutes, and it just wasn't insightful or... there was nothing amusing about it. But then he also did 3 segments on people he'd argued with on Twitter. And unfortunately, that does come up this time as well. I wish he wouldn't involve Twitter. Him talking about people he's argued with on Twitter is unbecoming. Ricky, please don't do it. It doesn't work. But fortunately, this time it's one segment that isn't very long. I wanted to start this by... There's a lot of right-wingers out there saying, Ricky sticking it to the woke left, as though he's your boy. He's your boy on the right? This virulently, specifically anti-Christian man who is against having children, who is against animal farming, who is massively pro-action on climate change, who is for women and gay rights. This is your man? Really? Maybe you should, do you follow these views? Because if so, that's great. He does make some good points in this one, which sort of relate to the idea. I feel like this Armageddon special, even though it is rough edges, and even though a lot of the times it feels like he should have road tested it longer, because the jokes have more substance here than they did in Humanity. And often the jokes themselves don't have the content or the delivery matching what the point of the joke was, which is an unusual place for him to be. And the other time around, the jokes themselves just didn't have any reason to be. But this time around, he really did have a reason to be. And it's obvious, like the whole woke cancel culture thing is it's so obvious and so overdone that it's tiresome to see Chappelle and Gervais go through these machinations, but at least 50% of the time he engages with it in a much more insightful and interesting manner here, which is says that he is woke, but he's not. He's woke when it comes to gay rights, women's rights, climate change, all of the anti-religion, all of this stuff, he's woke. But when it comes to cancelling people on the words that are used in comedies specials, then he's not, and that's the backbone of this piece, not my piece, his comedy stand-up, which had some leverage. I thought an interesting thing whilst watching it, and I always like the fact if a comedy special makes me think in the background while it's going on, and it's that I grew up in an era of Channel 4 in the UK and the Young Ones and the Comic Strip Presents, and them presenting very offensive humour on the back of this very trite old British sitcom humour, attacking it mercilessly like punks would attack Pink Floyd or the older music, and they got criticised by the right-wing news media and celebrated by the left for being really offensive. But when we move into the modern era, it's like they're still saying offensive things, but they're being attacked by the left and celebrated by the right. It's kind of weird, because both times they were saying things that pissed off the establishment, but now it's like they are broadly left-wingers being attacked by the left and celebrated by the right. It's a very strange paradigm. The reason I like this one a lot more as well is because he goes over the top with fire. He's gratuitously offensive, not against groups as much as he is, the whole Starlight Kids, the Wish Kids in Hospital Terminally Ill. He gets very offensive, and I actually kind of like the fact that he was too offensive. Not in the jokes, which were pretty bad, but he hammers. It's almost like he's hammering being on a Netflix special by his, like, the very bad language and the anger, and he's like furiously hammering over the top too many times, and I kind of like that fire. I found Humanity, the stand-up special, to be so tepid, and this time around no one's going to accuse it. You'd be sitting there in your lounge going, calm down mate, Jesus, which I kind of want. It feels more alive here, and there are some good long-form sequences which are analogous to what I found funny about Ricky Gervais in the past. Like, there's a really good long-form sequence about the website Does the Dog Die?, which I thought was excellent. And he goes through, like, it's a website where you can find out whether a dog's died in a movie so you don't watch it. And he talks about watching Old Yeller and about tricking his partner, Jane, long-suffering Jane, to watch it, telling her that the dog lived. And also going through Schindler's List of, like, this website tells you whether something is going to trigger you in a movie. Is someone misgendered and so on. And it goes through what's been posted over the years as the most popular questions on Schindler's List. It's like, does a dog die in it? No, a chicken is slightly hurt but seems to be okay after it. Is anyone misgendered? And I thought all that worked really well. And that was what I used to like about the old stand-ups of Ricky Gervais, who'd go through acting out scenes, reading from something, where I thought he's at his best. He's at his best when he's acting a role on stage, which is why he's been so good, better than any other stand-up comedian when it's come to acting, because he hasn't only done The Office, he's done Extras, he's done Afterlife, he's done several movies. He's got quite a body of work as an actor, and he does very well when he transfers acting onto the stage, when he's talking to himself but being both characters. I think that's when he's at his best. So overall, I thought this, Humanity I would never go back and watch again, because it just didn't have a reason to be, and the material was too trite and not laugh out loud. Here occasionally he gets back to his best laugh out loud stuff, but it also had a reason to exist, which the Dave Chappelle one didn't. So I'm going to give Ricky Gervais Armageddon a 7.5 out of 10.